Not the complaining.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another episode of our weekly Sorare podcast. Wow, that feels funny to say, doesn't it? I don't even. It kind of feels funny even saying Sorare podcast because we talk about everything sports related, not sports related, life related. We might just the intro might change to a podcast. Welcome to batting practice, a podcast. Anyway, that's enough waffling already for me, for all our UK listeners. But before we get too far into tonight's episode, how are we feeling this fine Monday evening?
We're
I'm
feeling.
yeah, I'm
I am feeling.
fresh fresh off my first futsal game.
Let's
I
go.
have never played soccer before in my entire life. I I think I've talked about it on the podcast. I only started playing because or watching because of So Rare. And now like 2 years later, I played my first game. Never thought I would do that in my entire life. Um yeah,
Andrew, is this a
Joshua.
weekly thing? Do you have a game a week?
Oh yeah. Next
Oh,
Thursday.
okay,
Heyo.
okay.
Yeah.
Live on the podcast here. I'm proposing a new segment. I say we
Okay.
score Andrew's futsal games on So
Okay.
Rare each
Okay.
week.
Okay.
So we go. You give us your performance. Obviously,
Okay.
we couldn't score like passes
Well,
completed
we'll
and
have
stuff,
to. We'll
but
have to see if he made any. You'd have to tell us.
yeah, more. I
Hmm.
guess more decisives. We'll go through your decisives and we'll give you a So Rare score.
Yeah.
I like that.
Again, I was just hoping to not embarrass myself out there. Just to kind of know. I was hoping, I'd know a little bit where to go. I really haven't kicked a ball much either, outside of like gym class kickball. I know you don't use your toe, so I'm really, at
That's
least
good.
like,
That's a
I
good
mean,
start.
unless you need to reach for it. But I managed to get 2 goals and
Holy.
3 assists to my name.
What the?
Um,
I
yes.
mean, I think regardless of what else you did during the game, you're at 100 already in your first
Well,
game.
Well.
well. There probably were a couple errors led to goal too.
Oh
Oh,
man.
uh-oh.
So I played keeper. We all rotated as keeper as like a way to recover. I don't know how those guys play 90 minutes just sprinting. My God. But keeper for us was like our little breather, and I didn't allow any goals when I was keeper. Now I didn't face any shots on goal, so
Okay.
Okay.
but I'm pretty sure as a defender, once or twice, I might have maybe once had an error that led to a goal, but I still think I'm +4 positive decisives.
Wow. So you had 6 decisives. That sounds like the Chelsea game
Well,
today.
what 5 good ones and 1 negative one.
Jeez. That'd be a
But
lot of symbols on So Rare.
Yeah.
Dang.
okay, of all of the so rare sports, which or even sports in general, which do you think is the hardest to just walk on and try to play? And what do you think is
Hmm.
the easiest?
Oh, that's a very
Baseball's the hardest, and no one can say otherwise. I can guarantee you, you can teach a baseball player how to kick a baseball, how to kick a
Okay.
soccer ball a lot quicker than you can teach a soccer player how to hit a
Mm,
a 100-mile-an-hour fastball coming at their face, followed by a 69-mile-an-hour Clayton curveball spinner in the dirt.
yeah. I think I agree with
Um,
that.
I think it was. Oh man, who was it? It might have been Bo Jackson, Reggie Jackson, Doc Ellis. It was someone. I don't think it was Jordan, but it was someone who played a bunch of sports, and they were asked, "What's the hardest thing that you did in sports?" Oh, it was Dion. It was
mm.
Dion Sanders, Coach Prime. How
Coach
could I
Prime.
forget?
Maybe
And
it's
he said,
coaching
"What's?"
now.
Yep. What's the hardest thing you did in sports? He said, "Hit a baseball."
That's a
There you
pretty
go.
objective
So
answer.
there's my answer for you, but I feel like I personally, sports come pretty easily to me, like athletically. I feel like soccer is probably one of my lesser sports.
Yeah.
But I would still say that was easier for me to pick up than baseball. And I played baseball my whole life. And soccer I played for a few years max for fun. Now, I would still say I'm much better at baseball, but I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think, Nash?
I think I agree with you with baseball. I will say though,
I
I
didn't even
think
mention basketball,
I
but
would say I think basketball might, for me personally, I'm much worse at soccer than basketball or baseball. So for me, soccer would be the hardest. But I think in a more general sense, if you did a survey of the general population, I I think they might say basketball is easier than soccer. I think.
Mm.
Um, I feel like it's like mechanics wise, you can shoot many different ways, but like kicking a soccer ball, you can't really kick it many different ways with, or else it won't really work. But a basketball, you could chuck it different ways. I don't know.
it's
I don't
easier to
want. I don't want.
control small objects with your hands than with your feet.
Right. Right. I
You have
don't
more
want.
motor
I don't
control with your
want.
hands.
It's true. This is true. I
Someone's
don't want
car
anyone
alarm
calling me
seems
out.
to be going off.
I don't want anyone
Yes,
calling
it
me out
ended.
in the comments. But
Well, to cheat,
all sports are hard. There. Just to
not
make everyone happy.
non-summer sports.
Oh,
I think, and I'm curious what you guys think. Hockey, I think would be the hardest sport to pick up
Impossible.
because you're on skates. You're on
Mhm.
skates. You have to learn. You have to learn how to skate. Then you have to learn how to do everything. Then you have to learn how to guide this little puck that is smaller than your hand, that is frozen. And I forget about it. Unless you're playing since
forget
you were
about it.
5, forget about it.
Yeah. I think, yeah, fair, very fair.
It's
Well,
true.
at the end of the day, you did well in your first game. For those of us that are definitely more on the flip side of our sports career, anytime we get out on the court or on the field, leaving that quarter field in one piece, not on a stretcher or in an ambulance, is definitely a win. So
Yes.
so you're
Yes.
winning. You're still in one piece. You're still
Very
standing.
true.
No surgery. So that's definitely a win in
Yeah.
your book.
Yes.
Very
No,
true.
that's could not agree more.
Well, what do we say? What so rare?
Nah, rip me up. Rip me open. We got a
That is-
package.
Oh,
that's
shoot, that's
right.
right.
Is that
Oh,
what's on my
that's
desk?
right. Wait
That's
a
right.
minute. Some could say Christmas came early.
Wait, I don't want to show our addresses. Okay,
Wait, I
It's
can
so
dox
blurry.
myself.
dox yourself.
Um,
Who's blurry, me or Andrew?
it
I
was
blurred.
good.
I blurred my background.
All right.
Oh,
Give me a reveal on camera.
So low
Oh,
key.
wait, Andrew.
When I first got this, I 100% thought you sent me a
Smells
trading
good.
card pack. 100%.
No,
I was going to
no,
get
no,
some
no, no,
some
no, no,
fungibles.
no.
But
No,
this
it's
is a
fungible as
surprise.
heck. All right. Oh, show the camera or look at it.
Oh my
Holy
lord!
cow.
Let's go, dude.
Isn't that sick?
Let's go. Hey.
Wow. That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
So for
Let's
the
go,
listeners,
dude.
we got t-shirts with
Hell
our
yeah.
OG logo. So
Let's
apologies to your wife, Haley, in advance, but it cost more to get the text logo.
No, that makes sense.
Oh.
And I couldn't find the image either. It was on my phone and I didn't have it on my computer saved,
let's
so I couldn't
go.
find it. But that is our
That's
OG
sick.
logo. Actually, that's the one that we originally had. It's still the YouTube logo. So
Heck yeah.
there we go. Not for
Whoa.
sale. Only
Let's go.
it's 3 of 3.
Unique.
Whoa, unique.
They're in
I like
between
it.
super. Yeah, well,
I was
yeah.
gonna say, kind of unique.
True. I could have got another. I mean, the text costs more, but it's wrote like 1 of 1.
You could have numbered them.
I could still go and put a Sharpie to it
That's
and
true.
do that as well.
That is very true. Heck yeah, dude. That's sick.
This
Thanks,
is awesome.
man.
There we
Thank
go.
You, thank you.
That's
Let's go.
it's Christmas early and also to celebrate the year late. So a little
Perfect.
in between sort
Love
of
it.
thing. There we go.
Awesome.
I also
Let's
got
go.
one for myself.
Well, if you have to. You couldn't.
Well, yeah.
That'd be kind of weird if you left yourself
now-
out.
We'll all have to wear them for Andrew's wedding.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
interesting.
Undershirts for the wedding.
There you
Under the
go.
white shirt,
Good.
under the suit.
that could work. We'll have to order. I can sell it to my other groomsmen, and we can make some
Whoa.
money.
That's
There we
true.
go.
Yep.
There you
Yeah.
go. Down the road, man. We'll get some merch going if we get the audience for it.
How about just like the hat? A little red hat with the little thing.
That would be sick. Andrew has some important news to share with us.
Well, no,
Oh.
did I miss it? They was another.
Oh,
jersey
the
drop.
jerseys, you did.
Did they actually? Were there more than?
Oh yeah.
There's are unsigned.
I have 14,000 coins.
I have like 12,000. I know. I wanted to
And
get one too, but
It's like for all the times that I forgot to enter my lineup, I guarantee you I could win at 15.
Oh, absolutely,
For sure.
absolutely.
yeah, I think it was
Rip.
it was either at 4 or 5. So
Rip.
I assume they're gone.
Yeah, I missed it. It looks like they are.
Speaking
all
of
sold
which, Champions League lineups, set them.
out.
We got some midweek games
That's
this
right.
week.
Yeah.
Get those coins in at least.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah. Lulu. Lulu just got excited by something.
Love the dog getting excited. Well, should we? Hello,
Hello, Sorare.
Nash. We
Sorry,
good?
I was yelling at Lulu. I didn't want that to be on the mic.
Oh, he
Oh,
was
no,
yelling
you
at the
could-
dog.
You can
I-
do a
I
hot
have-
mic for that.
Well, you
I have my cough button right here.
Hmm.
So when you know,
Mhm.
like on the radio, they have
Yeah.
a cough button. They mute themselves. That's my cough button to
I,
yell at Lulu.
I just go like this, and then cough as loud as possible.
There we
That's
go.
good. I like
Or
that.
sneeze.
Mm. True. True. Well, what do you say we dive into some So Rare?
Twitter? Should we go to Twitter?
Whoa.
Mm.
That's,
Oh no,
That's not a good place.
or
Twitter?
X.
What is Twitter?
Do I have to
Go
pay
to
for
X.
Twitter now?
Let's go to x.com and it just doesn't
Twitter.
sound right. And well, we're gonna read. Is it in French? Are we gonna have to translate?
No, it's in English. It's in English.
It's in English. All right. It is a tweet from Nicolas.
Here, let me
About-
share my screen.
I think he literally said it's the no BS update.
It is.
Do we have to blur this out to not get the square E?
That's a good. Okay,
Because
he
I'm not
tweets
gonna
a
do that.
lot. Holy.
Oh no, they said it. Isn't it like in South Park you get one free one or a PG-13 movie? I don't know,
Oh.
something like that.
He tweets. Well, he does tweet a lot.
He retweets a lot. Hey, okay, sideline. We gotta get
Oh yeah, okay.
YNWA on the podcast. I guess.
Let's shout out Hunter real quick. Guest appearance. I will be making a guest appearance on Hunter's podcast, so make sure to check him out as well.
Whoa.
Heck yeah.
Okay, where I saw it, and then
And while Andrew keeps scrolling, I will say something that we never say at the beginning of the podcast is make sure to follow us on Twitter first and foremost, Bat Practice Pod. That's where we just like
Here
to
we
have
go.
fun. We've been posting a lot more polls. I love posting
Like it.
polls. I love making polls and stuff. So make sure to
Yeah.
follow us there. YouTube's been popping off. A lot of fun shorts. You're gonna learn a lot from me in the
yeah.
short department, but also highlights from podcasts, one-off videos regarding Sorare and other things. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe. And every now and then I'm posting on TikTok now. We're going to try and start up Instagram as well. But those main two, first and foremost, Twitter and YouTube, definitely check those out as well. What's going on, Sorare? Question mark.
this
What's
is
going on?
his no BS transparent update on the state of Sorare, platform we all love. It sounds like Nicolas has descended from his ivory tower and has been boots on the ground with the product team, actually talking to real users, which is pretty sweet. I think that's a good sign that any sort of leader, when they care, they actually want to experience it. I would love for Sorare to talk to Sorare about the game and give our thoughts. I don't know how these people get picked for that, but obviously, I think if they interview enough people, I'm confident they can probably get to the bottom of it. But yeah, jumping into the highlights, Josh, you want to read through the gameplay?
Yeah. So we are focusing on a couple of high impact initiatives. Release Rivals, a mobile first social game mode that is going to be absolute fire.
Oh,
Improving Sorare Pro, tournament structure, reward shop, and mobile. Deliver a progression level that reflects
Progression.
and rewards long-term success of our managers. You can expect a roadmap update as soon as next week. Wow. Okay. So we got Rivals,
progression.
which
Yeah.
we don't really know what Rivals is, do we? That's a new thing coming out.
It's in beta, and if you are lucky enough to place top 10
Top 10.
in
Yeah.
beginner, like that's so I mean, my
My
God.
teams were.
Yeah. But yes,
Yeah, we'll
you
get
have
to
to be able
that,
to do
yeah.
that.
I love always improving tournament structure, rewards, the shop, and of course the mobile app. Gotta love that. Can always use updates there. And then the progression. I know for our OG listeners out there, you'll know that we've talked progression before in the past. So I like hearing that because we are all relatively long-term users. So some sort of progression would definitely be something we could look forward to,
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
depending on what it is.
depending on what it
True.
is.
It's something we've been talking about for a while for sure. I would say looking forward to has been a debated topic since we started the podcast.
True.
But definitely some clarification because I know that's just been a word that's been floating around out there for forever.
Right.
So we'll see if they do something that's, I mean, my cards are doing just fine, gaining all their XP and stuff, and I would consider that progression. So who knows if there's going to be an evolution like in that regard. Whatever, we'll figure it out. What's up? Expect a roadmap update as soon as next week.
Yeah.
When was this tweeted?
This tweet was tweeted
It was last week,
on,
right?
yeah, think on Friday. End of the
Dang.
week.
Okay.
So
So
sometime
next
this week.
podcast, I wonder what
Yep.
our Sorare section will be about.
Yeah, right. Roadmap.
Cool.
And I think, kind of related to it, literally the game we're going to play after this podcast is probably Fortnite. And if you think about Fortnite, like compare Fortnite to Sorare.
We're
Like
back.
if we play, you have they have a game pass where you can play and hit objectives to get extra rewards. It's very clear, what level you are versus your friends. There's some sort of, if you go through a game week and you don't like most of the time we play Fortnite, if we get a dub in the night, it's a win for that evening. We don't win every single time, but along the way you get little micro goals, like you get kills or gain XP. But with Sorare, it's kind of like if you win a game week, you get a reward. Great. You don't, you get some coins. That's all right. But there's no clear. I don't know. There's it's missing that game aspect that I think other games like Fortnite do so well. Because like so right now, like in Sorare, I don't know what level I am compared to either of you, compared to YNWA or Laird or some of the big content creators. I think like making it more of a game would be a lot more fun, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. All right.
Perfect.
Well, wow, don't skip over. Oh yeah, we did gameplay. Duh.
Did I skip over something?
No, you didn't. I did.
No.
The market. I know a lot of people are very curious about this because I've seen the sentiment on Twitter. Why are all my limited cards going down in price? The world may never know. We are looking very closely at the long-term sustainability for primary cards, secondary cards, and rewards. We build with the community and have been involving members through focus groups and user interviews. We take your feedback about it seriously and are iterating fast to launch tests around this topic. You can expect more soon. It's top of mind for all our leaders.
Let me hypotheticalize you for a second here.
That's a word.
Maybe. What if, because, okay, let's look super long term. Let's say 15 years from now. Giannis is retired. All of these cards that we spent hundreds of dollars on are quote unquote worthless. You could say that about a player who's like 30, like Steph. What's Steph now? 35-ish?
Yep.
So say Steph plays till he's 40. And then what? And then his card's worthless, maybe other than a collection bonus. What if you got some sort of cash rewards for collection bonuses?
Yeah. Or XP, and then that gets you a reward, or so, you know, so like indirect. But yeah, it's the same idea.
The way, so you need that Giannis, that retired Giannis. You need that retired Steph. I mean, this is way down the line, but there are even players now that could be like LeBron could be retiring any year now.
Right.
So it's just something to like think if they're thinking long term. Something like, I don't know, you could consider in that regard to keep sustainability. Big topic right there. Definitely not only for like crypto and NFTs, which Sorare is definitely trying to stray away from, it seems as though, which I more than approve of, but also for just in general, like sports and fantasy sports, like sustaining in the market is tough. Yeah, so mobile.
Well, and I guess related to that, let me ask you this. You know, there's some other fantasy NFT games where the cards are only good for a season, or there's a significant loss of utility after that original season. So if we look to like NBA or even look to baseball next year, you know, I don't, truthfully, unless I wanted to expand into a higher scarcity, I probably don't need to buy any more cards based on the current rules of the game, where I can enter my 5 limited card or 7 limited cards for baseball, 5 for NBA, and just keep playing. Like, I have no incentive to buy anything new. And eventually I think everyone would get to that point where, unless they release new competitions, you know, maybe it's this year, you're going into the season and you're like, yeah, I'll add. But then the following year, assuming that all of those cars are still good, you probably are going to be set. So it's an interesting one where you get like the cards have so much utility that it actually kind of hurts everything in the long term.
I think with growth, with at least hope for growth, also comes hope for new competitions, and that's something you mentioned. And then with new competitions come new rewards and stuff, and so on and so forth. I think that would be something to consider. Again, also for sustainability, is it's if we're basing our hope off of that Sorare is going to grow, then we need to like prepare for things like new competitions and stuff like that, because otherwise, like you said, it's going to get samey. It's going to get samey, and they aren't going to be making any money off of you.
Right. And there's a point where there's only so many competitions that they can physically introduce.
Right.
Like in NBA, like they added underdog, and they have this. Now I think like what we're seeing as a result, like in NBA, they very smartly made the in-season tournament having a requirement with 3 limited cards from this season. That way, it doesn't penalize people like me who have lots of cards from last season, but it incentivizes, you know, me to go and play those cards. The other thing that was floated, I think, in football is they had a training bonus or something like that, where it worked the opposite, where the more you played your card, the worse it did. So if I have my 5 baseball, or let's pretend they roll it out for baseball next year. If I only have my 7 baseball cards, I play them in the lineup. The next week, maybe they have a minus 10% score with them. So it's still, I could still play them. I still have that utility, but I can't just roll them out. Or if I do, I probably won't have as much success. So it kind of leads me to buy more. So it'll be
Like
really
almost like
interesting.
an OG FIFA fitness. Like you need to
Exactly.
rest your
Right.
team.
Right.
And that's kind of what
Yeah.
they were floating to.
I think you
Interesting.
you definitely have to tread or walk a fine line between keeping sustainability and cards useful and not taking away too much utility because you can't take away too much utility because then what's the point of having the card, but you can't make them so sustainable that you don't need to buy new cards because then the market doesn't work the way it should. So it's definitely a fine line between the two.
Yeah.
All right. Mobile, the mobile app. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but um, they started Sorare in 2018. We know this. It was built for the desktop. The app came out. That was last summer?
Wow.
So like a
Yeah.
year and a half
That's
ago.
crazy. Solar time is wild.
It is. Um,
You should read that
and
last sentence or last paragraph.
yeah. So this will mean that everything you used to do on desktop will soon be available to do on mobile,
Heyo.
including the marketplace. Yay!
Heyo.
We actually saw this kind of half rolled out today with
Hmm.
the buy now feature, which you can use on the mobile app. I'm pretty sure it said. But we probably won't get into that. We might, but we'll see. But yeah, everything you were able to do on the desktop, you will now be able to do on the mobile app. We believe this is going to be a massive step forward in the way we convert users into managers, but also amazing for our existing community to be able to trade on mobile. Sounds like all good things to me. I think mobile app has been pretty useful up until this point, with the idea knowing that it will continue to grow and gain these features that we've been looking for. So all sounds good to me.
What do you guys set your lineups on? Computer, on the app, on like Safari on your phone? What do you set your
Computer.
lineups on? Computer? Andrew?
Most of the time on my computer. But sometimes on my phone if I don't have time. If I'm
Yeah,
on
if
the go.
On your
I've been
phone, you
I've been
say
in a
on the
pinch.
app or not in the app on your phone?
I will say with the improvements that they have made at the app, I have gone more app
Okay.
than I was before, but I still probably log or check Sorare more so on the desktop than on I don't know, but they have done some improvements. Essentially, if
Yeah.
they can get
Oh
me the
yeah.
same experience on app as they can on desktop, then call me an app guy. I don't know.
So
An app
let me
guy.
ask you this. What do you set your ESPN fantasy baseball lineups, your ESPN fantasy football lineups with? Do you set them on the
That's a
computer or
good
on an
point.
app?
On the app,
App.
100,000,000,000%.
I
And the
only use
Only
the
app
the
gives
app.
app.
you pretty much the same experience, if not a more
I actually think it's
easy
easier.
experience than
Yeah.
on the computer.
True.
So if you had that, the app could be the way to go. And that would be very easy for people like my dad to use as well.
Definitely. I will say one of the big reasons I use the desktop or my laptop instead of my phone is because I have
Oh,
solar data
go
up.
up to. Oh, Anja or Anj. Poor Tottenham.
Hmm.
That's their manager. They got 2 red cards again.
Oof.
It's fun to make fun of Chelsea, but it's even more fun to make fun of a team that gets 2 red cards. Anyways, Nosh. Yeah, manager of the year. I've seen a lot of Counsell things flash by on that right side right there. I've been trying to ignore them, but
It's
We'll
coming.
get to it. We'll get to it.
yeah.
But really the main
Marketing.
reason I use my computer
Yeah.
and not my phone is because I have solar data up at the same time. And it's
Mm.
easier to go back and forth on the computer than on my phone. That's pretty much the only reason. So I guess in terms of lineup setting, I don't think that will change much with what's coming on the app, because I use Sorare data. So if Sorare data improves and the scouting and lineup building features improve a little bit on the Sorare data app, then maybe I'll use my phone more. But for now, it's easy to go back and forth on my computer.
Awesome.
Anyway,
Marketing.
Marketing. This is a
That's
long
me.
2 paragraphs. So once we have a
Simple.
product that is usable on mobile and contains a mainstream entry point, then you're in a great position to leverage the amazing distribution we have through our ambassadors, partners, and more. This doesn't mean that we should not do better than before. We have several initiatives to improve our relationships with community creators, notably, and deliver better, more targeted marketing campaigns. Hey, that's us,
Cool.
community creators.
Yeah. Expect more community creator stuff on social media is pretty much what that is going to see.
I will say
from
too,
that.
NBA.com right now has a big old banner for Sorare
There
MLB,
you go.
which is
Yep.
pretty cool. Company building.
Well,
Following our rapid growth and the rollout of new sports, we've experimented with different business and management models internally. After a period of iteration, we've landed on a centralized model to allow us to be more agile and adaptable. Adrian and myself have restructured the company so that we can be more product and community focused. Both of us are back to doing what made Sorare. We are on the ground, living and breathing the product with the community every day. We've taken the reins with all the necessary resources to project ourselves for the long run. Love it. I think there's a huge disconnect between company owners / CEOs and their companies in the world. So having CEOs that are willing to be on the ground and kind of seeing the ins and outs of how everything works from a user perspective will only help in the long run, like you said.
yep. And I think it allow, like we've been talking about, I think on the podcast, just more product homogenization, making the stuff from basketball same as on football. I think obviously if you have, if your team mirrors your product in terms of a central structure, I think that can go a long way. All this other stuff,
Yeah, we don't have to
I
read
think
it word
it's
for
pretty
word.
much red tape. Go through it. Not as exciting. Should we get into the topic du jour? The thing that made me run 4 miles today, including 1 lap around Wrigley Field.
Ooh.
Yep.
Mm.
I flipped it off. Actually, no, I was looking for houses for Counsell.
Was this before or after the news broke?
After it was this
you were
evening.
looking for houses for Counsell. What a
It was
nice
a
guy.
several
spiteful. It was a
million-
spiteful run.
Yeah.
Okay, before we start yelling, let's give an objective overview of Counsell. And let's talk about, or do you want to go spicy first?
No,
Do you want to talk about what this is going to mean for baseball, what happened, or do you want to just start yelling right away?
I think we go a little bit. Let's get like a minute of objective and then we go in.
So Nash, you texted me or you texted the group chat earlier today and you just said baseball is dead in all caps. And my immediate reaction was I thought you meant like Sorare baseball.
Oh,
Because we didn't. Oh my gosh, we also forgot this too. We didn't get our rewards yet.
Oh my gosh.
Our
don't even
postseason
bother.
rewards. I know.
Don't even bother.
I know. We can do it maybe real quick at the end with the Sporkle. But I thought you meant like something happened with the postseason rewards, and I was like, I don't understand. And I checked Twitter, and the first thing I see is, what did I see? What did I see, Nash?
Craig Counsell is becoming the new manager of your Chicago Cubs.
Your
Yeah, we're all Cubs fans. That's the point.
Okay, before we look into the meat and potatoes of it, is this the worst landing spot for Counsell as a Brewers fan?
1,000% yes.
And if you're saying no, then you're wrong.
I had a few friends saying that it would have been worse if he went to the Cardinals, and I so strongly disagree with that. I think the Cubs is 1,000% the worst place.
Cardinals are close, but as a Brewers fan, it's got to be the Cubs. I don't have as much of a problem with Cardinals fans.
Exactly.
No.
That's like literally that's the main reason.
What about for base? So now if we take off our try to take off our Brewers hats, how does this, if you're just an average baseball fan, or even if you're a Braves fan, a potential NL contender. Does this? How do you feel? Are you kind of giddy because he didn't go to the Mets? Are you happy that? Or are you nervous because it's still the Cubs and they still have the dump truck of money waiting to back out on Addison Avenue and fill the street? I don't know. We bring a lot of Brewers bias, but I think I would love to see what you guys think from trying to remove that Brewers lens.
Right. I'm trying to
All right.
here.
All right.
gonna
I'm
put
taking, if I have a Brewers hat on, I'm taking it off.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh wait, this is maybe
What-
the second worst.
Wait, I was gonna say that's maybe your Phillies hat. Phillies
No,
hat.
I know.
I think if you're a neutral looking at this position, I think you're thinking two things. One, the Cubs are a 1000% World Series contender this upcoming season.
Wow. Immediately.
Immediately.
insane.
Wow.
Immediately.
That is
Wow.
not an objective
Immediately.
non-Brewers. Your Brewers hat is still on.
Okay.
No, it's
Wait,
not. Okay.
Wait, so
hear me
Josh,
out,
so you're
though.
saying
Hear me
so you're
out.
saying same roster, no changes?
No,
They're
no,
immediate-
no,
Belly's
no,
gone.
no. Not what I'm saying. Craig
Okay.
Counsell is the first piece of many pieces to come for the Chicago Cubs.
Okay. So you're saying
You want me to
made that
talk on
statement.
this solely based on Craig Counsell?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, okay, not talking about Craig Counsell for a second. I think the Cubs have a lot of money that they are going to spend a lot in the offseason on free agents and make trades. So I think that with those moves, they will be a World Series contender. Now looking solely at a managerial position, I think other teams are thinking the Cubs got arguably the best manager in baseball because we've had some managers retire. So if you're looking at the current active managers, I can't really think of many that compete with Counsell in terms of being the best manager.
Bochy
Sure. I think you
just
could
won
say
the World
Bochy's up
Series,
there.
won 3
Yeah,
with the Giants.
definitely.
I'd say Bochy's a level above. There's some available. See, I still feel like you're speaking from a somewhat subjective position here. There are some managers that are at Counsell's level or even above, still out there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and the manager has some say in the game, obviously, but Counsell is known for swapping in playing matchups, playing hitters based off of lefty versus righty, using kind of leading into analytics. If we think about I just pulled up a list of the top payrolls, and I'm looking at it right now. There are probably 7, maybe 8 teams that would kind of fit in the we have all the money in the world, money is no object. I'll read you the list and
Wait,
tell
let's
me if
guess
there's
'em.
anyone I'm missing.
Okay.
Or you want to guess?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Mets,
Okay, that's number 1.
Dodgers.
That is actually they're not on the list from payroll. Where the heck are they? They're down there in 16. So they're
Sorry,
not.
what?
According to the 2024, or here, let me bring it back to 2023.
Oh, for upcoming.
Here,
Because they
okay. I refresh it to last year. Dodgers were 6th payroll last year.
Okay.
So Mets, Dodgers.
Mets were number 1. Okay, Mets, Dodgers. Yep.
Yankees.
Yep.
See, Cubs might not be fully up there because they had a lot more rookie contracts on the books this year.
Astros.
Yep.
Rangers are up there.
I was thinking maybe Rangers.
They are.
Yeah.
Cubs have
And
to
then
be up
Cubs.
there.
Yeah, that's 6.
So I mean,
Or
here,
we're guessing 8.
let me actually rather than have you guess, if we look at
Just bring it up, yeah.
this list of teams, so they're probably it's interesting
Padres,
like where the league averages, but just looking at this, there are actually a lot more quote unquote money is no object teams than I initially thought. Probably the top 12 you could argue. Like, I don't know if the Giants or how their owner is, if they're more of a money ball, but everyone that's in this top 12 or 10 with maybe plus one or two, like these are the teams year in, year out that are going to be able to compete with a capital C. Everyone else is just like, good luck with it. So I think of the teams that actually have, like, the Cubs getting Counsell definitely positions them, probably hurts the Mets the most, honestly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so something else in terms of just a baseball sense before we get into a little more subjectivity, or not I feel like we've been using that word a little bit wrong here, a little more opinion based stuff where we start yelling. He signed for 40 million for 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
a lot.
8 million a year, and that's crazy. That's the highest paid manager. That's crazy.
By how much?
And
What was the highest paid before?
4.5
like,
a year
yeah,
was
it was
the
like not even
So
close.
He's double.
almost double.
Pretty much, yeah. So do
Wow.
you think we're going to start seeing like these exorbitant contracts that we have seen with quarterbacks in the NFL, with Juan Soto and so on and so forth? Are we going to start to see those now in managers too? Or is this just a one-off, like a stab by the Cubs? We saw it with the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago with John Gruden, and that turned into an S show. That was not a good move by them, and they spent way too much on a coach. So, and I would say football coaches have way much more of an impact than baseball coaches do as well.
Right.
So, yeah, we will see. I don't know. You think we're going to start to see those contracts too? Or was this just the Cubs being the Cubs? A little bit of like, here's an extra mil because it's a division rival.
Yeah.
Screw it. Here's an extra 2.
Do you know if the salary counts, or the coach's salary counts towards the luxury tax? Because I know in football that is one of the NFL
Right.
that actually has a set salary that every team has. Coaches' salaries don't count to that. So one of the ways that big money teams kind of flex on others is they go out and they get the best coaches, and because they can simply just pay whatever they want. I don't. It'll be interesting. I mean, baseball kind of is more unfair, and the teams that have unlimited money can go drop that unlimited money.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit of a luxury tax, which maybe plays into some decisions, but isn't horrible. But yeah, I absolutely think the market for coaches has now been set by the Cubs. I think if you, I don't think Counsell is a market of one. I think this just gave every other manager a case to go to their boss, the GM, and say, pay me more money or I'll go to the Mets.
Yeah, pretty much. I think baseball is lagging a little bit behind in terms of like more of the monetary aspects of the game, in terms of like payroll and all that, salary cap and that sort of stuff. But just looking at like what NFL coaches make currently, it's immensely more than what MLB coaches make. Bill Belichick is making $20 million a year as the coach of the Patriots, and Counsell just set a record at $8 million a year. So there's a huge gap. I think I saw the average head coach in the NFL makes around $7 million a year, whereas Counsell just set the record at 8 again.
Wow, that's crazy. He's be making more than NFL coaches, than a bunch of them.
So to think like it's that big of a difference between the two sports, I think this definitely sets the bar a bit higher in terms of catching up in a way. I'd have to search for like NBA coaches or NHL coaches. I'm not sure.
Pep makes 25. I just looked it up.
Wow. So the MLB is definitely, in terms of like the major professional sports in the US, the MLB is definitely lagging behind in that sense. So I think it sets the bar. And like you said, managers are probably going to start getting paid more.
Yeah. I feel like a baseball manager, there's so many baseball coaches. And a baseball manager is a less necessary coach to have than in some other sports. And that's part of the reason why they're not paid as much. Like, I guess I don't know the ins and outs of football, like designing plays and stuff, but the head coach has a huge part in that, even if he's not play calling necessarily
Right.
in the game. Soccer, I mean, Pep is one of the greatest coaches of all time. You can
Right.
see, we can watch videos on him and how he concocts his strategies and stuff. And other sports too, like NBA, you could say Doc Rivers, you could say um, Pop, Greg Popovich in San Antonio
Jason
are great
Kidd.
coaches. But
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Not.
You look at baseball and you look at the assistant coaches, and the assistant coaches have a lot of impact too
Oh yeah,
and do a
Pitching
lot of the
coaches,
work.
hitting coaches.
hitting
Yeah.
coach. Yeah,
They're the ones hitting the balls, they're the ones hitting the pop flies. It's not Counsell. He's not standing there hitting pop flies like this with his bat, with his lefty batting stance. So I don't know. Maybe there was no point in that, but I just feel like with sports that I've played too, I feel like the baseball coaches kind of like work together more almost and have more of a combined effort. So paying a certain coach that much more than the other ones is going to set an interesting precedent. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah.
I just feel like the baseball manager doesn't have as much power.
So, and that's a really interesting, and I completely agree. Do you think then that the best coaches are just more personable or have that emotional intelligence that is kind of sought after, like they're less, yes, they make day-to-day moves, like sending guys up, calling people from the minors, sending people back down, setting the roster for the day, but is their X factor the ability to go up to a player who's over 20 and let them know, hey, it's okay, you'll bounce back, or a pitcher that just pitched a perfect game and you have to take them out in the eighth inning and you have to go in the dugout and kind of let them know, hey, like you got 120 pitches, like I need you for the rest of the season. Just having that, I don't know, that X factor, that you probably doesn't show up in a stat sheet. I've never, you know, locker rooms are one of those places where stuff kind of rarely gets out. If it does, it's usually a huge scandal. So I have
Right.
no idea what Counsell is actually like as a person, as a manager, but I would bet he's a damn good coach. And if you've ever played sports, if you have a good coach or a bad coach, I think I'd be curious if his edge is less about the strategy and more so just who he is as a person.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think again, like he's one of the best managers in baseball. I don't think that's a subjective thing to say. I think most people would agree with that statement. I think like you said, I think it's both, right? Like he has the strategy, he plays the matchups. We've seen it with pitchers, like people will argue about leaving pitchers in too long or taking them out too early, whatever. But he's known for that. But he's also known he was a player, and he's known too for, like you said, kind of having that more X factor, I guess you could say, and being like not only a good coach in terms of strategy, but a good coach in terms of talking to players, hyping up players, sticking with players that are down, like that sort of stuff. So I think because he has both, that kind of sets him apart from other managers where you look at some managers that are better at one aspect and not as good at the other, and vice versa. Um, they don't stand out as much compared to what he's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that about wraps
Is
it
it
up.
time
I
to
don't
cry?
think
Is it
do
time
you
to
wanna
cry?
do you wanna yell? Yeah. Why are you mad?
He just signed for the team I
There
dislike the
couldn't have been a
most.
worse possible team.
From a Brewers
Baseball is
fan,
dead.
absolutely not. Or yeah,
It's it's
yeah.
okay. Again, like saying baseball is dead is definitely a gut reaction. But at the same time, when I read the news, the first thought that occurred to me was that it's going to be really hard to watch baseball because, especially when they're playing the Cubs.
Yeah.
Um, And there's a lot that still needs to happen this offseason in terms of players, free agents. We haven't even talked about who might be a potential coach for the Brewers because currently they don't have one. But the direction of the Cubs going up and the direction of the Brewers going down, the organization is definitely at a teetering point, and I feel like it's teetering in the wrong direction. And it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be really, really hard.
Yeah.
Especially when they splash on Ohtani and Soto.
Yeah.
Ohtani and Soto.
I mean,
Dude,
like I said, they have the dump truck of money.
They have endless money.
They have the
Just
dump
saying.
truck of money.
Them and the
Wrigley
Mets.
Field is they own everything, so they can just go for it. Yeah, I think they're gonna couple. Like Josh said in the beginning, and we kind of stopped and we're like trying to be objective. Counsell is the first step. There's gonna be more, and so I think a lot of this is also just knowing what comes with that move. And obviously, there's assumptions that we could be totally proven wrong. If it's just Counsell, sure, all right, that's fine. It sucks, like going to Cubs games, just seeing him in the wrong dugout or in that stupid uniform. That's gonna suck. But to be honest, it's gonna suck more when Soto is leading off and just hits a dinger right off of probably I don't even know
who's
Brewers
even going to
pitcher
be
would-
pitching.
Aaron
Yeah.
Ashby, baby, he's got to come back, right?
That's true.
Would he
Yeah,
want
I
to?
mean, I think one aspect too that a lot of people don't or can't comprehend is he was the manager here for 9 years, which is an extremely long time for a head coach in baseball. What impact does it have on the players? We saw William Contreras already tweeting out the face palm emoji on Twitter. Like, what's that going to do to players that had a really close relationship with Counsell? Because I can guarantee you, a lot of players on the Brewers were extremely close to him, not as his coach as their coach, but as a former player, as someone who's from the area. I think they were all pretty close to him. So I guess it's a business at the end of the day, but
yeah, I mean, think like you get a new boss at work. That's something you need to wait and see to who's hired. Wait to see who's hired.
sure. But I think in the
Because-
back of players' heads, it's
Yeah,
not
but
a
it's
good
like
feeling.
if you get another good guy, and like you start off well, form good relationships and stuff, that quickly goes by the wayside. Maybe not in the fans' head as much, but in a player's head. If it's just work, if baseball's work, obviously you form connections at work, but bosses come and leave, and as long as you can get one of equal or better quality, if you're
Yeah.
thinking about it like from solely a work perspective, you'd be totally fine.
Right. It's true.
But I think it's also indicative of just where the Brewers are going. Like I don't
Yeah.
think it's. I mean, the Brewers' peak was 2018 in Game 7 of or maybe whenever they had the lead and then they lost it in the. I think we were up 3-2 in the series or
Against the Dodgers.
Yeah, against the Dodgers.
Mhm.
That was peak Brewers, and then ever since then it's been slow decline, with like getting worse and worse every year. And now I think we're at the point, like if we look at the line, there's like a make the playoff point. We've been up above the make the playoff point, and I think now we just hit it this past year, and now I think we're going to be below that line for quite some time. If the Brewers make the playoffs this decade, I'll be happy. I'll be a happy man.
This decade.
I'm making that
wow.
call. I might
Decade.
be a decade.
You think they're going a
2020s.
decade without the playoffs?
I mean, they could maybe make it in 2030, but yeah, I think the 2020s will not see a Brewers playoff berth.
Mhm.
Wow.
I think we've seen it.
That's too much of a homer take for me.
Mm.
That's too
I
much
know.
of a pessimistic homer take for me. I can't take 10 years. Like that
I
is
just think-
unheard of.
'cause
Like the A's have been in the postseason like shorter than 10 years ago.
Hmm.
The Royals won a World Series in 2015.
Yeah.
See, but
14,
that's
the
the
Royals.
difference. And they've been terrible ever since.
Yeah.
And we have never won a World Series.
Yeah.
It's just I
But they made it to the postseason. 10 years is a long time.
No, I'm not saying 10 years. I'm saying this would be now 7 years.
yeah.
Oh, for the rest. Oh, not okay.
Rest of the 2020s.
So
yeah,
not
the
for a
2020s.
calendar decade. Okay.
Yeah, not 10 years. I'm saying the 2020s.
Still, dang. You heard it here first. Any other
I-
hot takes?
I think it's not just the Brewers. I think this is kind of another death of the small market. Because if what we said before, if this leads to managers getting paid a ton more, who's going to be able to afford that? Those 12 teams that we just showed you, they're going to set. It's just the gap between the haves and the have-nots just got higher. And if you're below that line, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you get lucky. Maybe you go on a Diamondbacks-esque run, but in the end, you're going to lose to a top 12 money team. That's
Right.
I don't
And
know.
I think
Prove me wrong.
people viewed the Rangers as more. We haven't talked about the World Series, but I think the people viewed the Rangers as more of like almost like an underdog or small market, because they didn't win their division. But man, they had one of the highest payrolls in 2023. I think it was top 5.
Yep.
And their talent on their team was incredible. So it's like, again, eventually some of these small market teams squeak through, the Nationals, the Royals, and then they're bad for the next 10, 15 years. So the continued success is definitely the differentiation between the big and small market. But the Brewers just haven't done anything to show that they're willing to fully commit. They're not willing to pay Counsell. They're not willing to pay
Burns.
Burns,
Or
thank
Anybody.
you. Anybody
Yeah.
for that matter. Not even willing to pay Canna, which I was not necessarily a fan or not a fan of that move, but it's just like on every level, they're not willing to fully commit to their teams. So it's like, I guess at this point as a Brewers fan, why wouldn't you be saying I'd be surprised if they make the playoffs the next 7 years?
I think Antanasio thinks he is fully committing. Is the
That's
problem.
but that if he truly thinks that is a huge problem because he's
it's a huge
sorely
problem.
mistaken.
It is a huge problem.
He needs to sell the team if he
All
feels
right.
that way.
Enough Brewers talk. Enough Brewers
Yeah.
talk. This isn't a Brewers podcast. But yeah, I mean, we had to talk about that. It just happened today. But
Brutal.
I think we end on a happy note. 2 happy notes. Let's look at our rewards real quick.
That's not.
But I have a
happy
fun.
note. I don't know.
I have a fun quiz for you guys too.
I have it up already, Jacob.
Well,
If you want me to
go
show
look
it.
at your
yeah.
reward. Go look at your.
All right.
rewards.
Well, I'll share
Let me know if
my
it's a happy
screen
note.
first. Okay. I want to share.
It's not voice activated, silly. Hey,
That'd be
Siri,
cool. That'd be cool.
share my screen. Oh,
Is it
If
working?
we were the Cubs, we could afford.
Do you
yeah, I
see
can
me?
see it.
All
Yep.
right.
Woo!
So I finished in 157th in rare all-star. So
Ooh, an offer.
my championship chase reward is here. Check your galleries. I don't even get to open it up.
That's kind of lame. Yeah.
That's lame. It just appears.
Yep.
Garrett Hampson, your second base. Oh, it just says 2023 postseason. I mean, that's kind of cool. Garrett Hampson for the Miami Marlins. How about that?
Nice.
His average was
Yeah.
4.
Did he even
Nice.
play in the postseason? He did a little bit. Yeah.
You can these cards have utility, right? You can use them.
They are. They're just a normal rare card that look a little bit cool.
Okay. All right.
Well, sure.
Nice.
I'll throw him in my. Who knows? My rare NL team next year. Whatever. I'll take. I mean, a $5 reward. Sure, it's better than not winning anything. I guess I get to have I get to say that I won a reward in the championship chase 2023. Andrew, who did you get?
Well, here, go to my gallery. If you just search.
Oh
my name.
yeah.
I won
Hey,
2.
look at that logo.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, nah. So I can just pull you up.
Oh.
Ooh, the limited ones are so much cooler looking.
Yeah, It's kind of like unique-esque, but so I finished 86th in limited pro, which I was pretty happy about. I put a lot of effort. As you can see, if you go to my cards, if you click see cards, I bought several cards for the last round. So I was pretty invested in doing well. And I got a Marcelo
Best
Ozuna,
play
which
right here.
yeah, good call. Shout out to Jacob for that call. But no, I would be. I mean, I've said it before. I'm a little bit bummed that it's Ozuna. I think the other reward. It's kind of like when I won Adamas. I checked the guy that finished 100th, and I think I'd rather have his reward than the one I got. So I think it's a little bit more of like a tier 2 is just. I mean, if you look at it, it's $8, which is. I mean, I shouldn't complain never about winning rewards, but it is. I wish it would have been a little bit stronger of a reward for finishing top 100 of like 3,000 people.
Right.
Right.
And it should almost be, I mean, because it's over the course of many weeks, it should be skewed as to like, even if you finish in the lower portion of a tier 2, it should still skew as a high tier 2 because of how long the competition was.
Right.
But I guess that's just
Nosh, you want me to reveal it?
yeah. I haven't even looked. I
Oh,
don't know
All
what
Josh,
I
right.
you don't
got.
even know.
I don't even
Ooh.
know. I forgot to look today.
All right. Here we go.
E-
167th. Garrett Stubbs.
Stubbs.
Okay.
Did we each get a Garrett? Garrett Hampson and Garrett Stubbs.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Hey, Phillies, man. He was not on the postseason roster, was he? He's a catcher.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they
rip.
have like one of
Nice.
the best catchers in the freaking
Yeah.
MLB.
Hey,
That's useless.
whatever. Collection bonus, baby.
There you
He's
go.
going in. Yeah.
I mean, you were what? 167 out of 200. So that's a tier 5, is it not?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But a tier
So-
5, well, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I
okay.
don't. Tier 5, I think I think anytime you get above a tier 3, I get a little bit excited. But yeah, anytime I win a reward tier 4 or 5, I'm just happy that they're in my gallery.
Yeah.
Well,
I
there
just
we
wanted
go.
to win a special card. That was my goal. So cool.
How about that? That was fun.
Cool.
Well, should we finish off with this Sporkle?
Oh
Let's
yeah,
do it.
Dynamite.
We did something like this with soccer, I think.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
it was
Oh my
team
god, I think I
logos
see it. I see
by
it.
their
AI.
AI generated,
Oh, we're gonna kill
logo.
it. Yeah.
I move.
but it's NBA logos. So we are going to guess NBA logos by their AI.
Oh wait, this is
Generated.
harder than I thought.
Okay. All right. Ready?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it.
The
Pistons.
Pistons, maybe?
Oh.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be okay?
Grizzlies.
Oh, Grizzlies. Wow, that was really good. Good job,
Go
AI.
Go Grizz. Okay.
Bucks.
Bucks.
That's kind of sick, actually.
That is a sick logo. The Suns.
or the
Not
Nuggets.
the
No.
Suns. No, yeah, it's kind of the right colorway.
What
Mm.
on earth?
Heat? I mean Heat. It's
Oh,
No, the
What?
colors are wrong. What is that? Let's skip it. You only got 7 minutes. This
Nuggets.
has to be the Nuggets.
Nuggets.
That's kind
yeah.
of a cool logo.
Yeah.
It is
Hey,
cool. Timberwolves, right?
Oh,
No,
Andrew,
that's
show
the
us.
Trailblazers.
Oh, the
maybe.
colorways, right? Yeah. Yeah, the
True.
colorway.
That's just a horse.
That's a horse. A
What
horse.
is that?
Wait, that's the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cavaliers?
No way. Oh, wait.
It's not
Is
the
it the
Bulls, is it?
Phoenix? Is it the Phoenix Suns and that's a Phoenix?
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
all right, keep going.
Skip
keep
it.
going.
Skip it.
Or is the Orlando Magic? Is that the Orlando Magic?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. No.
no.
the
Okay.
color was right.
All right, keep going.
That's the 76ers, right?
It does look like
Yeah.
the 76ers.
Nice.
That's a okay.
Oh, the
Bulls.
Bulls is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Spurs.
Oh,
Spurs,
Spurs,
baby.
yeah. Shout out Wembenyama, who's going crazy. That's either
Suns.
that's
or
the
the Phe-
Suns. Because it's
Yeah.
the Phoenix Suns, yeah.
There you go.
That's the Hawks.
Pelicans or
I
Hawks?
was gonna say
or the Pelicans.
Pelicans is the right
Pelicans.
colors.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Really?
Or neither.
Jazz?
It looks like a bird. Is it not a
It's the
bird?
Jazz
Is it
colors.
hawk? That's definitely a hawk, though.
You already said you already typed in Hawks.
All right, keep going.
Skip it.
Celtics.
Celtics. Yeah.
It's a cool logo.
Yeah.
Kings.
Kings, very easy. Just with a K for no
Just a
reason.
K.
Yeah, you could have just done like a crown.
Clippers. It's got to be Clippers, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Thunder.
Yeah.
That's lightning,
Yeah.
but sure. That what? Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
I
wow.
wonder what this one is.
Oh shoot!
Is
that the Hawks?
Hawks?
Go Hawks. I don't know. Keep going.
What is
Oh, is it
that?
the Pacers? Is that the Pacers?
Oh yeah, you're so right. You're not right.
No.
Jazz?
Jazz. UJ.
Jazz. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
There's
the
That's a
Cavs.
Cav.
It's funny how some of them are pictures and some of them are like actual logos.
Houston Rockets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a car logo.
That's a sick logo.
That is good.
It's cool.
That could
That could be the
Heat.
Heat.
Yeah.
Hornets.
Oh, Hornets. That's a cool logo.
That's like a bat. That was
Magic.
creepy looking.
That's
There's the
the
magic.
Magic,
Okay.
That's
the
the
Pelicans.
Pelicans.
That's the
That's the same
Pelicans.
logo.
Yeah, it
Same
is
logo.
kind of.
Yeah, right.
That's the Hawks.
That's the
Must be the
Hawks.
Hawks. Oh, okay.
Golden
Warriors.
Golden State. That's so fun. It's almost the Golden State logo, except there's a bear in there. That's the
The Nets.
yeah. The bean can that.
That's the
There's your
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves. All right. So who haven't we said?
Okay, one of them is the Pacers.
One of them is the Pacers.
Is that the Pacers?
No. That could be the Pacers. No.
No.
I swear the one you said makes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I see it.
Okay, wait. Who else haven't we said?
Um.
Rockets. East Coast.
Yeah. Right.
Oh gosh, who haven't?
got the Magic.
Knicks.
Oh yeah, Knicks.
Oh, that's
That could be the
Yes.
Knicks.
Oh, that one was tough.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay, who haven't we said either?
Keep going. Keep going. Florida. We said the Hawks.
Bulls, Bucks.
Oh, we haven't said the Wizards, have we?
Oh, that's the Wizard. That could be the Wizards.
It's
Whoa.
the other one. It's the
It's
other
the
one.
other one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Wizards.
Oh,
yeah.
that's strange. Okay.
What
And
is
then
this?
oh God, who are we forgetting?
We said Clippers.
We
said
got 2
Heat,
minutes.
We got it.
Said
We got 2 minutes. Come on.
Bucks, Celtics, Pacers.
Have we done? We've done the Suns, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
OKC.
come on, boys! Come on, Luca.
Oh my God, the Mavs.
Oh, the
Duh.
Mavericks.
I wasn't. Yeah, right. All
That
right,
actually makes
30
sense.
for 30.
Let's go.
We did it 100%. How about that? That was a fun quiz. That was a good
That's
Sporkle quiz.
That was
That's
pretty
awesome.
solid. Good stuff.
Maybe I'm just saying that because we got 100% for once.
Hey, that's
Probably.
pretty good. We finished in time too.
Yeah.
We named all of the NBA teams. I'm glad we can do that.
Yeah, that's true. We could have just
Pretty
like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, true. All right.
I'm gonna wear it out for the outro.
Wait, I didn't even tell you guys. I finished 10th in limited contender this past weekend.
Oh.
What'd you get?
Anthony Davis.
Oh.
Which he sells for $200.
Yeah, AD sells for like way more than what you
So,
could have got.
I think that's a little bit why I was bummed about my MLB reward because I was like,
Oh,
I spent so much effort on this, and then this like one limited just like how is this even? How does this math? But
just
yeah,
threw up a 10.
as I complain
Nice.
about baseball rewards, shout out to the NBA team.
Yeah, right.
Your boy is grateful.
That's sick.
I could probably buy a whole MLB gallery for $200.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, for sure. You could buy a. You could maybe buy a cap. Maybe not rare. You could come
I might be able to
close.
buy-
You could
I
come
might be able to
close.
buy a rare team.
Yeah. A cap 240 team in soccer.
Yeah.
Goalie and everything. You could come close.
I get very close. I might actually use the money to transition into rare I don't have any NBA rares, so
Me
Really?
neither.
nope.
Really?
Yep.
I won a few by accident. Like Austin Reeves. That was by far my best stuff. Anyways, that's stuff for another podcast. Nash, take us away. Unless you're too mad to do so.
No,
I can do this outro if
okay.
you need it.
No, it's okay. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for all your support. Don't forget to check out all of the social medias linked down below. Until next time, you just attended batting practice. Now you're ready to get in the game. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.